A report from the New York Post today. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development report found that $5 billion in taxpayer funds went to questionable rental assistance recipients during the final year of Joe Biden's administration, including, you ready for this? 30,000 deceased tenants and thousands of potential non-citizens receiving the benefits. So dead people were getting rental assistance. HUD officials said, according to the New York Post, that a large concentration of the suspicious payments went to New York, California, and the Washington, D.C. area, the nation's capital, with dead recipients getting at least some funds in all 50 states. Got a lot of dead people out there receiving rental assistance. HUD Secretary Scott Turner said in a statement, a massive abuse of taxpayer dollars not only occurred under President Biden's watch, but was effectively incentivized by his administration's failure to implement strong financial controls, resulting in billions worth of potential improper payments. HUD will continue investigating the shocking results and will take appropriate action to hold bad actors accountable. Now, I want to know what that appropriate action is and how are we going to hold these bad actors accountable? And when are we going to hold them accountable? How many times have we seen these types of fraud cases, these programs where your money, my money, has been improperly given to somebody else and nobody's held responsible? Yeah, maybe there's a trial. Maybe they get, they're sentenced to 5 years and 5 years suspended to nothing. They get slapped on the wrist, pay a small fine. But they bought a big house down in the Bahamas or somewhere. HUD's Office of the Chief Financial Officer, in this New York Post article, said they uncovered $5.8 billion of the questionable payments out of nearly $50 billion in total federal rental assistance to public housing authorities, contractors, landlords, and other non-federal entities in fiscal year 2024, all under the Joe Biden administration. Because the Biden administration, they had the idea that we just got to get this money out fast. The more money we can send out, the more we can say we're doing to help the poor people. Well, the poor people weren't getting the money because the fraudsters were. And a lot of those fraudsters are foreigners who are in our country and shouldn't be here to begin with. The Post says around 11% of taxpayer dollars from HUD went to more than 200,000 possibly ineligible tenants, of which 29,715 were dead. 29,715 dead people received these benefits. 9,472 were non-citizens, and 165,393 were receiving sums that exceeded the threshold for assistance in their geographic region, particularly in New Orleans and other large metro areas. Now this Post article was just out. This is breaking news this morning, because as we have uncovered the fraud in Minnesota, and I've been saying it for weeks now, if it happened in Minnesota, it's happened other places. And this is brand new here. This is about rental assistance, not the daycare center fraud that they uncovered in Minnesota. I guarantee you there are other daycare centers around the country doing the same thing, and they'll be uncovered too. Does it just make you sick to your stomach when you hear about 50 billion, 100 billion of our tax dollars, when we have a record debt, national debt right now, that will never pay off in my lifetime? Does it just make you sick to know that our money is just being thrown around like this? And nobody seems to care.